boss. I got the knowledge, I'm the money boss. I got the power, I'm the money boss. I got financial business, I'm the money boss. The money boss. I got the knowledge, I'm the money boss. I got the power, I'm the money boss. I got financial. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Money Boss on Radio by Yelsa 97.0. Boss is here. That is just to give you value today. I am by myself in the studio today, but like is always the case, I want to assure you that you are going to get loads of value from today's edition of the program. My name is Rita Fabor. I almost forgot to say that. Okay, I am by myself today in the studio, like I have said, but nonetheless, you are going to get loads of value. So like I always would love to urge you, you go out there. If you aren't by your writing pad, go on, get your writing pad, get your pen, pencil, whatever it is, or your device with which you write or take notes, and then go right on to take notes as the program goes on. Today is another very interesting day. We back here are in mourning, so to speak. I have mixed feelings doing this, but we just have to go on to do this today because I don't want to leave you hanging. I know that a lot of persons are looking forward to hearing from the Money Boss today, so I just had to do this for you. Otherwise, given my frame of mind, I wouldn't be here, but I'm happy that I can do this. I'm grateful to God I can do this. Okay, so like we started about 2 weeks ago, we are not just having the radio audience, we're also having our YouTube audience. So if you want to see what it's like here as I talk to you via the radio, you might want to go to our YouTube channel, The Money Boss, and then watch live from there. You, while there, endeavor to like, share, comment also, engage with us through our YouTube channel if you will. And then most importantly, I would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Money Boss, and then hit the notification bell also, so that whenever anything new drops from The Money Boss, you would be in the know. That being said, I want to let us in on what we are looking at today. We are looking at the topic, get rich quick schemes, why people still fall for them in 2026. You know, a lot of persons have had terrible experiences around this, yet we find that more persons still fall into this get rich quick schemes in spite of terrible experiences from other persons. We want to know why, especially given that there's so much information out there about these things. The get rich quick schemes are also known as Ponzi schemes. They've been there for a very long time. They aren't new. A lot of persons have fallen victim, and those that haven't fallen victim, they've heard about them. They've heard about them. And so we would say that people are well informed about these things, yet they still fall victim. So we want to look at why this is the case. And I want us to know that these get-rich-quick schemes, these Ponzi schemes, are not investments at all. In the course of this program, over the period that I've been doing this program, I've had people reach me after the program to say that they heard me talk about an investment or the other, and they are interested. And some have even gone on to say what's in it, as in trying to imply what their take home is, having put in their monies into the investment, mistaking it to be such schemes where they are promised, so much returns at the end of the day. And whenever I have the opportunity, I go on to say to them that this is not that kind of scheme. This is not that kind of thing. So I want to use this opportunity to point blank state it today that these get rich quick schemes, these Ponzi schemes as called, they are no investment schemes at all. They are not. So we want to really, really, get clear on that. I want to ask you one question. Have you ever had someone tell you that you should invest a certain amount of money to get sometimes 100% within a short period of time? If you have had someone, give you such promising, juicy package, then you might just well be onto one of those get rich quick schemes. Why do I say that? I say that because real investments, the returns do not come so fast. They are not, they don't, most times they don't give that kind of juicy return. It's somewhat slow. Your dividends, your returns, profits, whatever you want to call it, is somewhat slow in coming in. And it's always dependent on, how much you get as dividend, profits, returns, whatever you want to call it, is always dependent on the amount of money you put into it. For instance, if you put in to an investment, maybe you invest in the financial markets, and you put in something like, I'm just saying now, I'm not saying that's the only amount you can start with. I'm just using this as an illustration. You put in something, let's say about 5 million, and another person puts in 10 million. You won't expect that the returns are going to be the same. Of course, the one that has put in 10 million will certainly have more returns, more dividends, more profits. So that's how it works. But you see these get rich quick schemes, the Ponzi schemes, their returns are fantastic. They are too good to be true most of the time, and they will point you to persons that have made it. They will show you alerts, credit alerts, and all of that. These schemes, they are designed to create urgency. They play on your emotions. They promise, these things they promise are really unrealistic. They are. They can't sustain it for long. Yes, what they do is that the first set of persons, as the case may be, that will come to them would actually take back something so as to draw them back in and also use them as bait to get others into the scheme. So I just thought I should clear that as we go on so nobody mistakes what I'm trying to say. These Ponzi schemes are no investment schemes at all. They are not. They are scams. So just know that. And sadly, in 2026, with all our technology, with everything, the knowledge that's out there, it's sad to know that a lot of persons are still falling, for these schemes. But why? is the question. So let's dig deeper. So this is why some persons fall into these get rich quick schemes. Number one, greed or desperation. You know, a lot of persons want to hammer, want to make it and make it big. So when given such an opportunity to, you know, make it big, so to speak, you see them fall for it. And sometimes it's not even about greed, it's about survival. It's about survival sometimes. People want quick relief from debt. People want quick relief from unemployment. People want quick relief from financial pressure. For instance, let's say someone is indebted and doesn't know how to come out of this situation and is presented with one of these juicy promises. If you invest 20,000, you will get 40,000. If you invest 50, you get 100, you get 200. And the person is like, that's the first thing that will come to the person's mind if the person is not careful. This is a quick way for me to turn around my financial. The mind starts making calculations as to how quickly the person can, you know, get monies to clear off the debt. So sometimes it's not necessarily greed, but that's one of the reasons, greed or desperation. And then for some persons, it's just survival. You want to be free from your current financial situation. You want to be free from unemployment. You want to be free from debt and all of that. So this appears to be a shortcut to achieving that, and so they fall for it. Another reason is the fear of missing out. Missing out. You hear things like people are cashing out. People are cashing out. This brings to mind my own story. A few years back, for those of us that live in my environment, there was this scheme that was on board. Everybody was into it. Or let me not say everybody, because some persons, you know, didn't fall for it, but almost everyone around my circle was into this. And I don't want to call names, that's why I'm just like this. Okay, and I remember my siblings telling me testimonies of how much they had made and all of that, how long they've been into this thing and what they have attained to and all of that. And I usually, before now, I hadn't even woken up from my slumber, you know, of being laid back when it has to do with finances and all of that. I was still deep in slumber. I didn't care if I was making more money. I was just satisfied with my salary, even though it wasn't enough, and I was almost always in debt. But somehow I was so laid back when it had to do with finances. I wasn't pushing for more. I was not satisfied. I was just satisfied with what I had, even though I knew what I had wasn't able to take me home. So I never was this person that was into all these kind of things. When you do this, you get this. Everybody will be on one side concerning that matter. I alone could be on the other side, and I'm just okay. But that particular year, I remember my younger sister kept on singing the love song of this particular scheme and telling me all the things she had gained, and yours truly, they were cashing out. And so on one day I was like, and my husband is a man that doesn't even like those things, but it got to a point I began to consider it, and even went discussing it with my husband. I said, why don't we just give it a try? Everybody is doing it and we see people making it. I tell you, at that time, for those of us that live here in Bayelsa State, Nigeria, we would know that that was the in thing. People went to banks to borrow money to put into this scheme, and some got good returns. I remember somebody telling me that the monies that he had left in the scheme wasn't his capital. He had so cashed out that he was now using the profit he had made to, reinvest into that scheme. And so I went telling my husband, I think it would be a good idea for us to go into this and da. Thank God for his wisdom. Thank God for the man's wisdom. What did he say to me? That was towards the end of that particular year. He said, let's wait till next year and see. Thank God for that wisdom. So I remember the following year, January, because I have this tradition of not, during the season, the Christmas season, for a long time now, I told myself I won't go with the rush of the season because it makes you throw away money unnecessarily. So if I can get whatever I need before the season, I go getting it. Otherwise, every other thing will wait till after the season when things have normalized. Then I will go to my own purchasing. It went as far as even to making my hair. I never make my hair during the Christmas season. So before things get, so expensive, I go make my hair. I carry it till the second week or so of the following year, January, before I now go to the salon. So that was what I was doing that January of the following year. My husband haven't told me that we should wait till the next year to see if we will now key into these so-called investments. So I went to the salon to make my hair the following year, January. Everything had cooled down, no more too much price hiking and all of that. And I went into the salon. The guy that was making my hair, he started talking. If I see these people, if I go there, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do them this. They have told me to go and bring my bank statements for how many times I've given them. They've still not given my money. I kept quiet and I was listening to this young chap. And he was ranting. He was telling some other guy. Over my hair he was making. But I thank God he was doing it that day. Ordinarily, I wouldn't want that. But that day I was grateful. So when he had finished talking to the guy and he was alone making my hair again, I called his attention. I said, please, don't be offended. That story you were telling, tell me again. What was it about? And he called the name of that so-called investment scheme and told me what had been happening for some time now. And I was like, what? You don't say. That was how I was saved from that. I started feeling like I was being left out. Everyone is doing it. Why don't I join in cashing out? That was the temptation that would have led me into falling for that. But for the wisdom and the grace of God, I don't rule that part out, the grace of God and the wisdom of my husband. So we were saved from that. And not too long from that salon encounter, this whole investment scheme came crashing down. So many persons go into this because they are afraid of missing out. They want to cash out with every other person. Of course, the stories are so beautiful when they come in, so they don't want to be left alone. You are the only one that's not doing it. Why don't you go ahead? That's why people still fall for this. Another thing is social proof. This scammers, they are smart. They are so smart. They show you testimonials. Sometimes these testimonials are fake. Sometimes they are fake. Sometimes if you could be real, but many times these testimonials are. It's so easy to fake testimonials these days. So easy. So they come with social proof. They show you fake testimonials. They show you edited screenshots. They show you people, write-ups of people claiming, I just got paid. So when you hear I just got paid and you see some edited screenshots of a credit alert, you are like, ooh, this thing is real. That's God doing it. Even your friends might unknowingly promote it. They won't realize it's fake. And the moment we see people close to us promoting it, we begin to believe that it's real and we begin to fall for it. Another reason why people fall for this get rich quick schemes, even in this 2026, it's because of low financial education. That's why the Money Boss, by the grace of God, is here to get people enlightened, educated around their finances. I was so illiterate before I started this. I was a stark illiterate in spite of the fact that I was educated. When it had to do with money, I was a stark illiterate and didn't know so until I started to learn, read, listen to people, have people mentor me around finances. Then I realized how much of an illiterate I had been, financially speaking. And I see a lot of those kind of persons around me. So I'm like, no. Let's go out there and let other people that are like the way I was, let's let them in on what this thing should be. Let's begin to shout on the rooftops that money can be made legitimately, money has to be managed when made, and money must be multiplied so that we don't spend our old age begging people for support, whereas we can be living the life that we so dream of. Okay? So low financial education is another reason why people fall into these get rich quick schemes. They don't understand how investments work. They don't know what realistic returns look like. So when someone promises 100% returns in 48 hours, they believe it, not knowing that is a big scam. Another reason is trust in authority or religion. Sometimes these schemes are packaged as God told me to bless people. This is a community support system. And people just go ahead to trust blindly. So these are some of the reasons why people fall into the scheme. And I will have you engage with me like is our practice on the program. I'll call out the phone number and then you will call into the program. For those listening to us via radio by Elsa 97.1 FM, and when you do call in, you would please do us the favor of reducing the volume of your radio so we don't have callbacks and all disturbing noises. And then you go ahead to tell us your name and where you're calling from. Then you ask your question or you give an answer to maybe a question I might throw out there for you. Then for our YouTubers that are following us live, you can go to the comments section and then drop your comments there. If you have a question that you would love for us to answer, you go right there and drop that question. And while you're here, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. Like it, share it. People need to know these things that are being talked about on the Money Bus. So share to your friends, share with your friends. Let them hear the same things that you're hearing. It just might save someone the heartbreak. You never can tell. So for our radio audience, the number to call to be part of the program today is 0806 036 2898. The number again is 0806 036 2898. When we take calls, okay, we already have our first call, so let's take it. Hello? Hello? Hello, go on. Go on, please, I can hear you. Tell us your name. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? All right, there seems to be some issue there, but we are going to keep trying. Okay, you can call back. You can call back and let's do this with you. For the YouTubers, again, I say you can go to the comments section and then drop your comments, question, whatever it is, and then we'll engage through that platform. All right, while I still wait for calls or comments to come in, I will go right on to begin to tell us how we can identify scams so that going forward, we won't be falling into them. Now, here are some red flags, how you begin to identify them. All right, please, I would take calls, but I like to finish what I'm saying before I take calls, and I have already said I want to talk about the red flags, so we'll pause with calls first. At least I take the first one and then we'll go back to taking calls. So the first one, the first red flag that can help you identify any Ponzi scheme is when they promise you unrealistic returns. I said it in passing already while I was talking. Somebody comes to you and says, you put 100,000, you get 200,000. Run for your life. Run with your money. No matter who is saying that they have been paid, run. Okay? Run. So if any call is coming now, I'll take it. Let's take this call. Oh, all right. Sometimes the network can be very funny. All right. Hello. 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 Good afternoon. You're welcome to the Money Bus. Go on. Tell us your name. Go on, please.
My name is God Gift and I'm calling from Pasha.
All right. God Gifts from Pansha Bayelsa State. Go on. Tell us.
You made mention of financial education, right?
Oh, yes, I did. I sure did.
Yeah. Please, I want you to make it very, I want you to make it clear to me, like I'm somehow a bit confused there. So please, make it open for me to understand that financial education there.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for calling in. What we mean is you beginning to learn about finances. Like I said, when I started out, I didn't know jack about finances. Was I earning a salary? Yes. For a very long time, I had been working and earning income. But I just knew that money comes into your hand, you spend it. You use it to pay your bills. You use it to enjoy your life. But when I started to question what I had been doing for the longest time that I knew, I had been doing. When I started to question why I wasn't amounting to anything financially, why someone that was any less than me, not far away, in my own place of work, could have his own property he lives in, whereas I could barely pay my rent. When I started asking all these questions, I was taken down the path of beginning to learn how money works. Then I started to understand that there are skills. Skills to making money, skills to managing money, skills to multiplying money. I began to understand that money is not just to be spent. I started to understand that there is a place for delayed gratification, so that I know I need these things, but sometimes I would have to put this need on hold just for my future. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about financial education. You begin to learn how money works. You begin to read books. You begin to bring yourself under the mentorship of some persons that have passed this road that you're heading or you're journeying on now, so that they can teach you certain things that will save you from years of trial and error. These are the people who call mentors or coaches. I myself, I have them. People that coach me on different aspects around finances. I listen to them. I ask questions. I buy their materials just so I will become educated. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about financial education. There is no course in school known to me that you will go and study and they'll say, I studied financial education. Yes, you might study a whole lot of things that sometimes in some of them you might touch on some things, but not what, this whole financial literacy thing is all about. So that's what I'm talking about. I hope it helps you. I want to take more calls at this point. The number is 0806 036 2898. Don't forget the part where you turn down the volume of your radio completely while you put that call across to us. And one of the things, if you want to engage with me, one of the questions I want to ask you is, have you ever fallen victim to a get-rich-quick scheme? Okay, I'll take this call and then we'll move on from there. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. It's good to have you on the Morning Boss. Hello, go on. Hello, are you there? Okay, I think we lost that call. You can call back. I didn't get your name, so I can't address you by your name. Whoever you were, please, you can call back and I will engage with you. So I was saying that one of the questions I would want you to answer for us is, have you ever fallen victim to any get-rich-quick scheme before this time? Or do you know someone who has? And if you have, or you know someone who, fell victim, how did they come out of it? How did they survive it? Let's take this call. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
You're welcome to the Money Boss on Radio Biosa. Go on with your name and where you're calling from, please.
Okay. My name is Timi.
All right.
I'm calling from Okaka.
Okaka, Biosa State. Yes, go on.
Yeah. You asked the question if I'm from which quick game, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Me myself, I want for my younger brother, my immediate younger brother,
Okay.
fell for it.
Okay.
If I missed the last 2 years or last year, exactly, he fell for that. There was this investment that came up and they were all saying that do this now to help you, do this thing, this will help you. I invested 20,000, this is my return. I invested 20,000, I gained 20,000, which is 40,000 in return. He saw the 20,000 first, now invested 40,000 to gain 80,000. 20,000 naira. So on the second week of hello?
I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah. On the second week of September, he now invested 120,000 to gain about 200 above. So the date of withdrawing the money, so it came up and they said it's a network, just like that. The money, he lost his money.
Wow.
And also my close friend, because it was my close friend that introduced my brother to that investment.
Okay.
Which my friend invested 500,000 naira. His wife also invested. His brothers, they were investing this amount of money, 500, 200, 600, like that. And the time of withdrawing, the day of withdrawal, they all got lost and they lost their big amount of money. What I mean money, more than 10 million naira they lost about you.
Wow.
This is not like the last about something like that.
Wow.
So I've learned a lot for that, for those investments. And on the talk of financial education.
Okay.
Financial education. I've learned a lot from you, I will say from you.
Wow.
Personally.
Wow. I'm so
I've learned a lot from you.
glad to hear that.
And still yet, I still want to learn. So if there are books that I can read to still improve my financial aspect, please, and please, I will beg you in the name of God, I should recommend me to those books so I can read them, get it, and read it to get my financial life stable.
Okay. You just listen to the end of the program. I'll leave my phone number so that you can reach me via WhatsApp. And then tell me, let me know that you are the person that asked for books. Then we'll take it up from there. I'm so thankful that this program is helping you and many other persons out there. Thank you so much for calling in.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go on.
Right now, I lost my big phone. My big phone is out, so I'm using better phone. So how do I reach you up? How do I reach you in WhatsApp?
Okay, like I said, I'll send the number. It's the same number I used to take calls and WhatsApp for now. So maybe you just do me an SMS then. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for being with us this time, and gaining so much. Thank you. Wow. What an experience. You see, you hear what he said, that it was 100% return. That's always the case. They will give you initially 100% return. They'll promise you 100% return. And then what happened? They started giving excuses. After a while, a network issue. This one. When you start hearing the stories, I just know that you have entered one chance, as we would say in Nigeria. You have entered one chance. All right, so I talked about one of the red flags as being unrealistic returns. Promising you unrealistic returns. Either 50%, it could be 100%, sometimes even 200%. In just a matter of days, when you hear that, run for your life. We'll take this call now. Hello?
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Good to have you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, go on, please. Your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Mia. I'm from Bukili Brass.
All right. Go on.
You're the one who teach us last week about money principle respect. How we can learn how to practice to spend our money. Is that not?
Go on, I'm listening to you.
Yes, can you get little spam all these books that we can learn how to read to understand about your program?
I actually have an ebook that I was advertising some time ago, but I stopped advertising it here. But if you will listen to the end of the program, because you are asking for it, and when I say ebook, I believe you understand what it means. It's not in hard copy yet, though I'm working towards getting that book in hard copy, so that when people want it, they can have it physically to read, because I also like having, hard copy books. For now, it's just an e-copy. So what happens is that I send a link.
I reach Yanagua, I can call you to, is it possible for me to get that book?
Yes, it is. That's what I'm explaining to you. If you listen to the end of this program today, I'll give out
Okay.
my phone number so that you will chat me up on WhatsApp. Then tell me you are in need of it. I'll send you the link through which you will go buy that book and download it. Okay? And you read.
Okay, I'm hearing you.
Yes.
But, actually, pardon me. But by now, I'm using a small phone because...
Okay, that will be the issue. That will be the issue now because you would have to access the internet to be able to download it. So that will be the issue. But when you can do it or when the hard copy comes out, just keep in touch, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you. But I need the attention. Please, if you can text me your number, if I reach and I can locate you to get that copy.
Yes, I said I would call out my number at the end of the program. So just listen to the end. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right, I'm looking at red flags. Things you should watch out for to know that this so-called investment, mind you, I'm just using investments, but they are no investments. I'm using investment because a lot of persons they have come to know these Ponzi schemes as investments. That's why I'm using the word investment. But in reality, these are scams and no investments whatsoever. So when you see these things that I'm calling out now, know that these are scams. Number one, I've talked about unrealistic returns. Number two, pressure to act fast. They try to coerce you, make you to feel that if you don't do it now, you're going to miss out. Look, any deal that comes like that, forget about it. You shouldn't be put under pressure to part with your money at all. You shouldn't be. This is your money. And most times, hard earned. So nobody should come pressuring you to let go of that money without you understanding exactly what you are doing. Even when it has to do with the real investments. For instance, buying of shares, going into treasury bills and all of that. I like, for those that come through me, I like to let them know what they are getting into so that they can understand before they invest. We'll take this call. Hello? Hello?
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello, it's good to have you on the Money Boss. You're welcome.
Okay. This is Mr. Samuel calling from Inglewood.
All right, Mr. Samuel from Ingby Road by Ulster State. Go on and...
I want to ask crypto investment, is it Ponzi scheme?
Not quite, but it's very volatile, so I don't go there, at least not for now. And I don't see myself going into it anytime soon, but that's not to say that it's not something people are doing, okay? But for me, I stay clear that area, okay? Because it's very volatile. And I don't have such monies that I want to throw away just yet. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, you said this number is also on WhatsApp?
No, this is the studio line. I said I was going to leave my personal number at the end of the program for those that want to get in touch with me for mentorship, coaching, whatever, as well as other questions that might help them along their financial journey. So thank you so much for calling into the program. I'll go right on now to talk about the red flags, some red flags. I've talked about unrealistic returns. I've talked about pressure to act fast. Somebody telling you this is the last chance, limited slots, and all of that. Now, I'm not saying there are no genuine persons. For instance, when you're talking about sales, maybe somebody is selling a product and is using this kind of things. Yes, you might want to patronize, if it's someone you trust. But when we are looking at somebody telling you, come and invest 50,000, you get 100,000 within 1 week. This is the last chance. They are trying to pressure you into doing it. It's a red flag, and you might just want to run away from such things. Now, another red flag is no clear business model. Ask them, how exactly is the money being made? Ask. If somebody comes to you with a juicy package, ask, how are you making this money? What's in this thing for you? If they are not able to give you any concrete answer, run with your money. It's your money. You made it. You made it. So don't let anybody bring anything that will take that money away from you without you getting anything in return in the name of one investment. No, don't do that. Okay? No regulation, no registration. When you see a platform that you ask for papers they don't have, the papers that are supposed to authorize them to operate as a business, you shouldn't do business with such a person. In Nigeria, we have the CAC as the registering body for businesses. So if they don't have those documents, they don't have any form of regulatory body overseeing what they are doing, and that's a big red flag, and you just do not want to go there at all. You don't want to do business with such a person. Then another thing is withdrawal issues. You begin to hear of delays or see delays. Just like what saved me from falling into that Ponzi scheme back then. I went and heard of how there were now delays in paying people their so-called dividends or profits and all of that. When you start hearing those stories, it's a big red flag. You know that no, something is not right here. You begin to hear excuses like our network is having problem. We are upgrading our system. We're upgrading our system. When you start hearing things like that or restrictions, know that this one is a Ponzi scheme gone. And then another thing that I want to talk about is concerning the red flag is when they begin to pressure you to refer people. Referral pressure. So you bring 5 people to earn more. Pyramid structure, all those kind of things. Be wary. Be wary of them. Now I know that there are some genuine businesses out there too that would say when you refer people you get a certain amount of money and all of that. But now I'm looking at you having checked all these other boxes and then this is a part of it. Run with your money. All right, I'm still taking calls, though the time is running very fast today. I'm taking calls 0806 036 2898 is that number you can use to call into the studio of Radio Bayelsa 97.1 FM to be part of the program. Okay, when you call, reduce the volume of your radio completely. Then go on, tell us your name, tell us where you are calling from, and then let us know if you've had this experience before. We'll take this call. Hello. All right, lost it there, but you can call back so that we get to know who you are and what your experience or the experience of someone close to you has been around this get rich quick scheme. Hello. All right. Yes, we have looked at the reason why people fall into this scheme, or schemes rather, even in this year 2026, in spite of all the stories they've heard about other people falling victim, they still go right on to fall into the traps of these people. We've looked at that. We've looked at some of the ways these schemes are packaged and how they present them to us, and we have looked at the red flags to watch out for. When we see these things, we shouldn't go there at all. Now, what are we to do instead? What are we to do instead? Instead of falling for these Ponzi schemes, these scams, what are we to do instead? If you really want to build wealth, here's the truth. Wealth is built slowly but steadily. That's the truth. So what do? Focus on saving consistently. Save consistently and tie that saving or savings to a goal. For instance, at the start of the year, I told myself I was going to save a particular amount of money for this length of time for this purpose. My purpose was I wanted to buy treasury bills. So I was like, okay, I was going to save this much because I have come to know in the course of this journey that the more monies I put into legit investments, the more dividends accrue to me. So I wanted to save and gather up a good amount of money to plunge into treasury bills. So tie your savings to something. Don't just keep your money perpetually in the bank. Oh, tie your savings to something, and when you have gotten the amount that you want to use that money for, pull it out and put it into that thing. Okay, so save consistently. Forget about the amount. What is convenient for you to save, save it, and save it consistently. Learn financial literacy. Get educated around monies. How do they make money legitimately? How can I manage the money that I'm making? How can I multiply these monies? These are things you have to learn. And then invest in legitimate platforms. Forget about these too good to be true things that they come to present us with most of the time. And also build skills or businesses. Learn some skills, build businesses, build multiple streams of income. Like me, what I'm looking at now is having a source of income to fund every bill that I have. So for instance, if I want to maybe buy buy a car, I would look for a source of income that will provide the money that will fund the purchase of that car. I'm just giving an instance. Maybe I want to go on a vacation. I would tie a source of income to that vacation so that whatever money is coming from there, I will use it. That's for me. I'm not saying you should do it. Me, that's what I've decided that I want to do, so that the pressure is minimal. Or almost, it's not there at all. With time, there won't be pressure at all. So that's what I'm working towards. And that's why it's important for you and I to build multiple streams of income. But we should do it intelligently. We should be smart about it. Okay? So those are the things that I advise that you do. Don't let anyone deceive you. There's no shortcut to wealth building. None at all. None, except you want to go and fall into the hands of scammers, which I advise you not to, because you will lose your hard-earned money. So as we wrap up, let me leave you with this. Anything that promises fast money usually takes your money fast. Anything, I'll say it again, that promises you fast money usually takes your money fast. So don't go there. Don't go near there at all, at all. Be wise. Be patient and be informed. This is where we'll have to say our goodbyes for today. But before I go, I promised I was going to leave my contacts at the end of the program. So this is it. And please, only serious messages, no calls. It's either SMS for those that complain they didn't have a big phone, or for those that have a big phone, WhatsApp. And go straight to the point so that you can get the help that you need. The number is 0803 750 4852. Again, the number is 0803 750 4852. Leave your comments and most importantly, subscribe. leave your comments, and most importantly, subscribe. Until I come your way again next Thursday, 2 p.m. on Radio Bielsa, I want to say, you just keep on being the money boss. Bye-bye for now. No more stress when the bills are due.